Coach, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, TJ.
You seemed, and you've been all over the state. It seemed like they have you talking more than Calipari these days out, and you seem like you're calm, you're feeling good. Is that different, or from the past couple of years, or is it just maybe people are seeing you more?
Well, I don't know if people are seeing me more because I've always been out there. I'm just excited about what's going on here. We are excited about the type of team we've put together. It's just year 3. We've been consistent in the way we've evaluated. We've been consistent in the way we've recruited. We've been consistent in how we've disciplined the kids in our program. We've been consistent in how we've taught toughness. So we're excited to see the product that we'll be working with come tomorrow.
Yeah, when camp starts, you've got a lot of positions with a lot of competition, which a lot of coaches say is a good thing. Mm-hmm. When you look at your team as you get ready, do you say, what's the most important thing to sort out in camp? Is it a positional battle? Is it a mentality you want this team to start the season with? What's the one thing you say you hope you leave camp with this team?
Well, it's a couple things, really. You want the mentality that you create amongst the team. You know that we're a team first, but there's also some positions that we have to get worked out also because there's some competition. There's some competition at the quarterback position. There's some competition at the running back position. There's some competition up front, defensive line wise, in the secondary. There's some young competitions there. So there's a lot of things we got to get sold up as far as the battles. But at the end of the day, it's making sure that the mentality we come out of the camp with the mentality that we're in this thing together. It's a team focus. I watched our baseball team create something that nobody thought could be created. I mean, as talented as our basketball team was, they had it too. You know, they had the mentality that, hey, I'm doing it for you. I'm here for you, and our team needs to have that same mentality also.
You mentioned the quarterback situation. I know you got people think of it as 3 guys in there, but you have some other young players in there mm-hmm. as well. At SEC Media Days, you said you wanted them to manage the shoot moments better. Can you explain kind of what you meant by that?
Well, those moments are, throughout a game, you play a game for 60 minutes. There's something bad's going to happen, but how do you manage when something bad happens? How do you manage when you set your protection the wrong way, late in the cadence, and you can't get out of it? How do you handle it? Okay. Do you call timeout? Do you get the ball snapped? If the ball snapped, now what? Yeah. Okay, now what? You got a defensive lineman coming at you, unblocked. Do you try to get the ball back to the line, protect the ball and get it back to the line of scrimmage? Do you throw it up in the stands, or do you try to make a play and something bad happens? So our guys got to be able to manage that. When something bad happens, they got to be able to get the ball back and live to play the next snap.
I always think that when the SEC schedule comes out, that's kind of an shoot moment for a coach. You see all those teams you got to play. When you see that, I know you prepare your team to play, but coming in, you're going to be an underdog against the LSUs or the teams you play this season. How do you put a mentality in the team of no fear? It's us against. How do you prepare for a schedule where you're playing so many good teams?
I mean, that's what we signed up for. You come to Kentucky to play in the best league in America. You sign up to play in the SEC to play against the best teams in America. The schedule hasn't changed in 30 years when I arrived 30 years ago. It's been the same. I mean, every year you get your schedule. You have half of them going to be home, half of them going to be on the road. We're just excited about the opportunity. How good is it to go into someone else's stadium and upset them? How good is it to be an underdog? How good of a feeling is that to be an underdog and upset a team that's nationally ranked? We've done that. We've had those moments here. That's what I'm excited about. Okay, to say we're going to be underdogs in all 8 SEC games. We got an opportunity to be the underdog in every game to create some of those moments because we're not expected to win any of those.
You're starting your 3rd season as a head coach. Is there anything that's surprised you about being a head coach versus an assistant? So maybe something that after you got going, you're like, wow, I didn't expect this to happen, or there's something more involved in it that maybe you didn't expect that surprised you?
You know, I've always been one to get out and try to do as many speaking engagements as you know, as I could, but I never knew the type of request you would get as a head coach. I got a lot of requests when we first got back here, because I was one of the few guys that people knew when we got back here 10 years ago. I got a lot of requests when I became the coordinator, but there's nothing like the request that you get as a head coach. And one of the things that Rich told me on his way out is you got to learn how to say no. And I feel like I've done a good job, but you know, prioritizing the ones that I thought I needed to do, and then and pushing some back to the next year or the next year. So I mean, that's one of the things that I didn't expect. I didn't expect the amount. Right. I knew there would be some, but I just didn't expect the amount of requests that you would get as a head coach.
What is your relationship like with Rich Brooks? I know people see him on Twitter talking about tomatoes and everything else all the time. Yeah. You still talk football with him and talk about the program? You
know, being out in the West Coast, our time zones are a little bit different now, but when Rich is back here, he was back for the Keeneland meet, the last Keeneland meet, and we got a chance to talk then, but it's just the time difference is such. When he's on the golf course, I'm sleeping. Yeah. All right. Yeah. When I'm up working, he's sleeping. So I mean that's the biggest change. But we still got a great relationship. People know how I feel about Rich. I mean, I expressed that when I took over, and I still have that same type of feelings for Rich.
My dad lives in Arizona, so we're on a different time zone. You better hope Rich Brooks never figures out text messages, because there's no time. It doesn't matter with a text message. Yeah.